So I'm doing a series of videos on superfoods that you may believe are deleterious to your health because that's what popular culture says. A whole group of those superfoods is whole grains. Okay? Now, one of these whole grains, rice, I was made aware of was high in arsenic because of Dr. Greger from nutritionfacts.org. But what does that really mean? Well, really, rice consumption, arsenic is a concern because it raises the risk of cancer. But when you really look at the research of rice consumption and cancer, it only looks like there's a very small increase in the risk of breast cancer from a lot of rice consumption. And the benefits of whole grains, including rice, at reducing cancer risk and reducing heart disease risk and reducing various chronic disease risks, including obesity and premature aging, is very high. Whole grains are one of the foods that the association of consuming more whole grains is associated with a lower BMI, a lower risk of heart disease, a lower risk of cancer, and a longer life. And this is one of those things. Now, why did I originally knock whole grains out of my diet years ago? And I mind you, I did put them back into my diet maybe, I'd say 5 years ago. But the reason why was because of the paleo diet. And the paleo diet was concerned with, grains are not a natural part of the diet, blah, blah, blah. Well, we now know that's wrong. Grains were being eaten by our Paleolithic ancestors, which we know now because of dental calculus that has been examined, and there was barley and things like that in there. So technically grains have been part of the human diet as long as meat has, well, maybe not as long as meat has, but grains have been part of the human diet since Paleolithic times, at least. So the point that I would like to make is there are a number of reasons why whole grains are good for us, and these include, of course, the high amounts of soluble and insoluble fiber, the phytochemical components that help to help to prevent cancer and things of that nature, as well as the fact that they are a good source of energy. Now, people might know that I'm on a low carbohydrate diet, and I'm going to do a video when I do protein. Protein is it's not really a superfood, but it's a super macronutrient that you may have been led to believe is deleterious to your health. And I'm going to do another video about that, and I'm going to talk about that, and in that video I'm going to discuss certain factors as to why that is. But the fact of the matter is, you can be on a high protein, low carbohydrate diet and still enjoy 1 or 2 servings of whole grains a day. And when I say 1 or 2 servings, I mean 3 cups of cooked whole grains. People don't understand. It's not so much about when you're on a low carb diet, it's not so much about how many carbohydrates you're eating as it is, I shouldn't say a low carbohydrate diet. When you're on a carbohydrate controlled diet, it's not so much how many carbohydrates you're eating, but what type of carbohydrates are you eating, and what is the total amount of carbohydrates, what is the glycemic load in comparison to the other macronutrients of protein and fat, and the calories derived from protein and fat. And you will see that a bowl of oatmeal, if you are eating and concentrating on a high protein, good fat diet, a bowl of oatmeal is not really that many carbohydrates when it comes to the percentage of your daily calories. And that's what people need to know. And a bowl of oatmeal can be like a half cup of dried oats is a serving of oatmeal. A bowl of oatmeal might be 3 servings of oats. Okay, I like to have my my tofu, like how I have breakfast. I'll have a bowl of oats and about a pound of tofu, and that will be my breakfast. Now, the tofu obviously is a high fat, high protein food, And the oats are actually pretty high protein for a grain, but not very high protein. But the thing is, I'm getting about 15 grams of 5 or 10 grams of protein from the grains, but also that has my methionine in it that I need. So I'm controlling the overall methionine, but getting enough methionine through the oats, not to mention the essential amino acids I supplement with, but that's besides the point. Ultimately, what the point I would like to make is you can enjoy whole grains, and whole grains are health promoting. The paleo diet and the many clones of the paleo diet and all this stuff, they've made people believe that whole grains are some kind of alien food that people need to avoid. And there are people with certain allergies to certain proteins in wheat and stuff that have to avoid wheat. But ultimately, no, you don't have to avoid whole grains. You can be total, and whole grains do promote health. There's much research to support that whole grains do indeed promote health. And that's all for this video.